Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, especially to my lecturer, Madam Zalina, and my name is Muhammad Fakhruddin bin Zakaria, and I'm from group AP115 This video presentation is about oral commentary, which is a movie review. The movie that I choose is the Karate Kid 2010 film. In the China, this movie also known as a Kung Fu Dream film. Alright, this is the image of the movie when the movie was launched in 2010. Now, I will tell the background of the movie. The genre of this movie is action, martial arts, comedy, and children films. The production of this movie is by Jerry Winthrop, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Jeff Lasseter, and Ken Stovitz. The running time for this movie is 140 minutes. And the box office for this movie is 359.1 million. Actually, the budget for this movie is just 40 million only. The awards have achieved by this movie is People Choice Award for Favorite Action Movie Actor, Kids Choice Award for Favorite Movie, and Kids Choice Award for Favorite Boot Kicker in 2011. Now, I will tell the synopsis for this movie. The synopsis for this movie, Drake Parker need to follow his mother to Beijing, China because his mother's career have been transferred at a car factory in Beijing. Then, the first person Drake Parker meet in the Beijing was a Mei Ying, who was a violinist. Although Drake Parker also knows a little bit of Kung Fu, but he still lacks fighting skills in the Kung Fu. Next, the Drake Parker also meet Mr. Han, a conservationman who is also a master of martial arts. And then, the Mr. Han teach Drake Parker all about Kung Fu in the hopes that Drake can face Cheng and possibly win the heart of beautiful craftsman named Mei Ying. For the character analysis, the first character is Drake Parker. Drake Parker has been played by Jaden Smith. Drake Parker in this movie is 12 years old from the Detroit, Michigan, and he has to follow his mother to Beijing, China due to a career. Drake Parker is a smart and quick learner in something because he often does it diligently. And Drake Parker began to gain kung fu knowledge when he met Mr. Han, and from there was a top related skills kung fu. The second character is Mr. Han. Actually, this is my favorite character in this movie. Mr. Han has been played by Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan is a well-known actor who often carries an action character related to self-defense. Mr. Han is the one who saved Drake Parker from of Bob, accompanied by Cheng. And then Mr. Han is also a master of martial arts. And then he had taught Drake Parker all about the Kung Fu. Then, Mr. Han left alone because his son and wife have died in a car accident. In fact, the cause of the accident was by Mr. Han himself because he had argument with his wife in the car until the car he was driving lost control and caused an accident. Now I will explain the setting for this movie. This film is set in Beijing, China. Beijing is a capital of China. Beijing is a large city or known as much for modern architecture. Among the places taken by the production for this film, the Forbidden City, the Great Wall of China, and the Wudang Mountains. China is the perfect place for film recorded because Kung Fu is the martial art from China. And this film began in July 2009 and ended on 16 October 2009. For theme and value. The theme of the film is positive because this film applies a lot of positive elements and lessons to those who watch this film. For the moral value, the first moral value is we should never give up in doing something to achieve success. For the example, we can take a Drake Parker never give up in learning or improving skills in Kung Fu. And then the second moral value is we should never look down on others. For the example is Trey Parker never look down to others, although Cheng always look down on him. And the next moral value is we must respect each other in order to strengthen and prevent quarrels. For the example is Trey Parker respect each other, especially his master who taught about Kung Fu. Now, for this slide is about favorite scene. My favorite scene in this movie is Drake Parker passed to the final match in Kung Fu tournament. In a final match, Drake Parker had led the match 2 points over one by Cheng. But Cheng managed to equalize the points by kicking the Drake Parker who was injured and fell. In the final points, Drake Parker continued to struggle after successfully getting up and using the snake stances used by a woman at the temple, and Cheng changed the position and his technique to attack Drake Parker, but the Drake Parker flipped and caught Cheng in the air. This is a last slide in this video presentation, and the slide is about opinion. My opinion about this movie is we should never look down on others because it can have a negative impact on the individuals and ourselves. For example, when we look down on others, we can give him depression. And then the next, my opinion is the strength of this film is the character of the Drake Parker who is diligent in learning Kung Fu until he is skilled and able to achieve victory in the competition. And in addition, this movie also brings a lot of a lessons that can be learned by every viewer who watch it. The character in this film also bring their character well that can impact those who watch it. Thus, I highly recommend it to everyone to watch it this movie because this movie cannot only be watched by adults but it can also be watched by teenagers or children. Alright, that's all from me and thank you.